Hey, welcome back to the Disney Plus Everyday Challenge, and today we have Diary of a Wimpy Kid. Rodrick rules. This is the live-action original version. This is from 2011. It's an hour and 41 minutes long, and like I say, it's the original version. I say that because Disney redid it when they acquired the 20th Century Fox property. It's based on a book series by Jeff Kinney, and then when Disney got the rights, and all the actors were aging out, and they recast for like the most recent live action version, swapping out like the kid actors because they keep growing up between movies, and you can't play 14 or 13. You can't be a seventh grader your entire life. It's just the way it is. And even the parents, they recast. They changed out members of the Wonders between Steve Zahn and. I forgot his name, but anyway, it was guys from That Thing You Do were playing the dads. And when, like I said, when Disney got it, they decided to animate it so that all they have to do is swap out voices as certain actors grow older. I don't have to worry about them aging out physically. So it makes sense, but this is one of the... no, it's not the last. It's like the first sequel, I believe. Because the first one is just Diary of a Wimpy Kid. Then Dog Days comes after this. It's a whole thing. It's a cinematic universe. The Diary of a Wimpy Kid cinematic universe. But this is, definitely one of the 3 films, I believe, that fit within the original cast. They do have a total of 7 different things, and this is the last one of the collection that's currently on Disney Plus. It's been made so far that I know of. So I've now seen every version of everything that has been put on Disney Plus from this series. So what we get here is Greg Hefferly back again with his buddy. What's his name? His name is such a weird name. Rowley. Yeah. Sorry, all the Rowleys out there. I don't mean to offend you, but Rowley is his often so sweet-natured, naive, oblivious, adorable friend. The two of them get into way too much trouble for most 7th graders. Yes, he's a 7th grader now. The first film, I think he was just 6th grader, getting into a whole new middle school world. This year, he's not the new meat, and well, yeah, it's a new world for him. You'd think that he's not going to reach the level of social abuse that he's used to, but no, you'd be wrong, because he still has his big brother Rodrick, who is determined to win a talent show with his band Loaded Diaper, spelled so poorly, but phonetically, I think. Yeah. So the main core of this film is the struggle between brothers, as well as the little tiny brother Marshall. Is it Marshall? They don't even have Manny. By the way, Greg is played by why isn't he not even listed? Come on, Greg. I'm here to use you as a reference. No, okay, Zachary Gordon. He's at the beginning, but now he looks the way Rodrick looked. It's really strange in the movie. Anyway, Zachary Gordon is Greg Hefferly. His brother is Rodrick, is played by Devin Bostick, and Rowley is Robert Capron. They all grew up to be men. They're still very much children. Their parents, I really enjoy the parents in this. That's one of the treats. They don't short shrift them like some other stories do, or treat them like idiots. There's a lot of series, and it's not just like on Disney, Nickelodeon, things like that, where when I've had to watch this with younger relatives, then they put them on, it's always... Well, when we see this in cartoons, also the cartoons I do watch, like The Simpsons, the parents tend to be the most naive, ignorant, and stupid compared to the kids. It's just the way it is, like The Simpsons, but Homer kind of cornered the market on that. So yeah, but so we get the situation, normally a situation where the parents are not that bright, they're ignorant, and they're the butt of so many jokes. The parents are not in this. Yeah, there's a little bit of weirdness with them, which is great. When you got Steve Zahn as dad and Rachel Harris as mom, both comedians, comedic actors who are definitely in their element here. So they you know, maybe they did it for a paycheck. I don't know. They did it. They did 3 movies, I believe. So, you know, it's all right. It worked out. She and he have to run a household with 3 boys who just create chaos. And the 2 oldest, of course, are always butting heads. Rodrick, the character itself is just fantastic because he is willfully stupid. He doesn't have to be. He's clever in his own way, but in a way that serves only his own ends. He's pretty selfish. But we also get that in Gregory. Greg is definitely most of the trouble he gets into. Stuff in the more embarrassing stuff. Yeah, he has enough control over. But a lot of times the decisions he makes are fully just selfish, and sometimes that harms those around him, hurts those around him. There's no real harm in this. In the end, I mean, yeah, Greg gets his comeuppance. He's the hero of the story, but he also gets a lot of comeuppance for the poor choices he makes. Rodrick isn't exactly a good role model, even when they get along. And like I said, the main core of this is them having to, one, deal with each other. Their parents trying to make them spend more time together and get along with each other. And in some cases, when they get along, and we see that at some point, they can be more dangerous together than they are fighting with each other. At least to the greater whole of their small town. But you should get to see... you get to see the humor comes in the conflict, and also at the same time you get while you're getting humor, you're also getting the more the sentimental aspects of going, you know what, having a brother like this is a good thing to have. We don't have to always fight, and we can look out for each other, and that's messaging for the most part. Yes, it's a family film. It is. For the poor kid, Zachary Gordon I think he spent a lot of time. I think it happens in every film now. Is it a recurring thing where he ends up in his underwear, just like in every movie? Like, what is going on with that? I just don't get it. And it's, you know, is he going to embarrass himself in front of the girl he has a crush on? Played by Peyton List. Yes, Peyton List, who's done a bunch of Disney stuff, but most recently I know her when I'm going, why does that face look familiar? Oh, it's the girl, one of the main girls in Cobra Kai. Yeah, she's a bit more violent now. She's a bit more edgy than she was in this. She's just a sweet vision of beauty, blonde hair, and just, I'm pretty, kind of floating through this as Greg does his best to get her attention. And she turns out to be cool. It's not, you know, usually you get the kind of situation where you're like, oh, I'm totally into that girl, and then she turns out to be like a snob or a jerk or something. And yeah, but in this case, from what I can tell, yeah, there's been nothing bad about her, which is a nice change of pace, rather than that old story that the nerd writers tend to make. It's like, oh, remember that I liked that girl, but she was a total jerk to me. I'm gonna write a character like that totally, you know, eviscerates her. That's kind of the writers do that. Writers write the things that they know well, and many of them were nerds, and many of them spent a lot of time alone in front of a computer or a pen and paper, so, or a typewriter if, like, you're super old. So. So yeah, we get a number of little subplots. One with his little Indian friend who goes out of town and comes back and he pretends he hasn't returned, and the kid, it fills in space. It fulfills the hour and a half runtime to build out some backstory that has nothing to do with the main story, but it's funny. So So yeah, I mean, these are kind of the plot points that you would get. I don't think they were invented for the movie. They're for the hardcore fans of the books. It would be weird not to address that storyline. So I don't know if, again, I can't. I've seen all the things now. I've seen both animated and live action versions of everything now that has been released so far, and I'm kind of surprised that everything's been erased from my mind. There are certain things I remember, just the whole loaded diaper thing, the talent show, and well, I'm not going to spoil the ending for you. This is literally one of the last scenes of the film right here. That's not giving anything away, but these things are always they're good-natured, they're silly, they're surprisingly, I don't want to say they're mature, because they're really, the humor is very immature, but it's okay, that's good, it's what makes it funny. It's going to appeal to teenagers, and just not being too careful with being gross, because I feel like some kids stuff gets just a little bit, it feels like they're talking down to the kids, or they're making it safe so parents approve. And no, this is not a PG film. No, it is a PG film. It is a PG film. It's not a G film. So yeah, it's got more mature elements. There's one joke that I was really surprised that I don't even know if the actors who were performing the roles got. It's a bit mature, but with the magic wand, when they meet Holly the first time, if you get the joke, you get it. If you don't, you don't. Or I'm just a pervert. I don't know. Either way, it's always a good time with these characters. So yeah, if you haven't ever watched any of these films, go through them in order. You get to see the kid grow up and then be recast and then get animated. So then they have a Christmas special that came out last year, which was also fun. So yeah, it's its own little thing, and I know it has a really strong following amongst the young readers, and hopefully more gets made in time. It all depends on the license and what Disney Plus wants to do with it. And Jeff. So, let's pick tomorrow's episode. 244. Honestly, a few weeks ago, before I reset the list, there was a really good chance that we were not going to have 244 things to choose from. We were going to barely have 200. But since I found a boatload of new stuff, well, we now have over 300? No, just under 300. 278 or something. Either way, 244. We got another documentary. Sorry, I know there's a lot of documentaries on Disney Plus that I have watched already, and still more than 100 left that I have not seen. So there's about 112 or so by this point, 110, somewhere around there. It's nearly out of the next year worth of it. 4 months of it, nearly 4 months, are going to be documentary related. That's astounding. So, but this one, it's different from some of the others, although this is a World War II based one, kind of like the one we just had not too long ago. But this is, I believe it is anyway. This tells a very interesting story. It tells kind of the same story as a Lucasfilm movie that George put out after he was done with making Star Wars. But this is a documentary. This is called The Real Red Tails. Boy, I'll be really embarrassed if this is all about, like, birds or something. The Real Red Tails is what we're watching next on the Disney Plus Everyday Challenge. I'll see you back here tomorrow with that.